What's going on, guys? So as per usual, I saw Justin dropped another one of his skit videos, and I don't know, I seem to like doing these little reaction videos for him. Specifically, a couple of you enjoy watching it, so I figured why the hell not. I saw the thumbnail, saw the title, and I asked him, I said, do I get blamed in this? Because it's a cheap fragrance haul gone wrong. And he said, I don't get blamed for it, so. But, I mean, it's cheap fragrances. Of course I'm intrigued, so we're going to check this one out together and just see what it's all about. See if this one's funnier than the last one, or maybe he slipped a little bit. I don't know. It's been a while since he's done one, so I'm looking forward to this video. Stay tuned. All right, here we go.
Hold on there. I know you're excited to watch the video, but before you do, if you missed this video linked up in the corner,
Got to plug the
please
old
make
ones,
sure
right?
you watch it. Otherwise, you are about to be completely lost by the end of this video.
You heard him. I remember the last
Warning
one.
you,
So.
if you have just a few minutes, I encourage you to watch that video. You'll love it, and it will get you caught up, and then you'll be ready to go. There you go. You've been warned.
All right.
Yes, we got it. Hell yeah, my new fragrance haul is here. I already forgot what I bought.
Oh, we forgot one. There's a couple good ones in there.
Oh, yes.
Paris Hilton for men. Watch out now. Zara Poron, though.
Oh, you're here. Woo-hoo. And they weren't kidding. This thing is a fire hose.
It must be 3 a.m.
Bro.
Yep. Here we go. Is it indigo or the original? Or...
Yo! Oh, my bad. What's good, Brody bro? I've honestly lost track of how many times I've had to do that to get your attention.
Brody, bro.
Do you need hearing aids? I just can't hear you over the sound of all these fly honeys flocking to the scent of my new fragrances.
My
I think you
God.
need to speak up, my guy.
He did not just say,
I was
my
thinking
God.
the same thing.
Whatever. I wanted to talk to you because I just checked my bank account and I noticed a $367 charge at Fragrance Buy. Okay, do you really have no idea what I'm talking about? I know this was you. Yeah, it was me, Playboy. I didn't have the funds, so
So
your boy
corny.
had to borrow. Is that a problem? Is it a Bro, are you kidding me? You took my money without asking me. Yes, it's a problem. Sounds like a you problem, Brody bro.
Okay, so far, it's just really freaking corny. I gotta be honest. It's not like gut-busting funny like a few of the little one-liners have been. Outside of him calling him Brody bro. That shit's just ridiculous. But nothing crazy funny yet, I gotta say. So far, I'm a little disappointed. You're better than this, Justin. I don't know. Maybe it's leading into something really funny. But let's continue.
Okay, I'm gonna take the high road here. So you bought more fragrances. Why? Don't you already have enough? Psh. Why? You serious, bro?
Here we go.
I'll show you why. Why? Because this one is supposed to have my dates drooling on your boy's collar, according to the reviewers. And this one is supposed to have the fly honeys fighting to put sunscreen on your boy's chest at the beach. But we don't live near the beach.
Right?
The pool? You right. Good point. And this one.
That's the one.
This one was promised to get me a wife by the end of the year. Maybe 2 if I'm lucky.
What?
Seriously? I'm about to shoot a video on my YouTube channel later today highlighting all these fragrances. Gotta share the wealth, you know? These dudes need to get their priorities straight. All you need in life is a good, cheap fragrance. And even better, 5 to 10, 30, 50 of them. Let's keep it coming, player.
All right, that's pretty funny to me, anyways, because I get a lot of blame from people when they buy a bunch of cheap fragrances. I'm not begging you guys to buy this stuff. I just tell you what I think about them, basically. Yeah, you don't need that many. You really don't. Like, I have an absurd, ridiculous, way too many, huge amount of cheap fragrances, but I like doing these cheap blind buys, see if we can find something that's decent, out there to say, hey, maybe you might want to look into this if you like said things about the fragrance. But yeah, you definitely don't need you don't need 50 of them. Handful at best, and it depends on what you value as cheap. For me, it's $50 or less falls into the cheap category, especially once you start getting in that $30 and below price point, which everything he's shown so far is anywhere from like 15 to like high 30s. So, and honestly, the stuff he's showing, not too bad, Love 3 a.m. and Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. That's my jam. At least he's showing some, what I feel, some pretty good stuff. So let's continue.
This is getting out of hand. Faster than I planned. Hold up, Bromo Sapien. Faster than you
Bromo Sapien?
Planned? What plan? Oh, faster than I expected. Nah, you said planned. I want to know what you meant by that, Playboy. You know something I don't?
The lingo.
Right. Going according to plan. I guess it's time.
I've always been curious. How did you get into fragrances? What kind of question is that? I'm destined to be a YouTube legend and a fly honey trap. I don't got time to worry about that. No, I'm serious. Have you ever thought about it? What's your earliest memory with fragrances? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Man, why does this even matter? Why are you asking me this? What does this have to do with anything?
It's a little different
As
from
I
the previous
said,
ones.
I was just curious. I did not mean to upset you. But it is interesting that you can't remember. Is it not? I mean, yeah, I guess so. What do you think it means? I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's nothing to worry about. Yeah, maybe. I think you should be more scrupulous with your spending.
Especially when it's not your money.
But if you're going to spend your money, rather than spend all of that money on cheaper fragrances you've never smelled, why not save up for something of higher quality? Maybe 1 or 2 fragrances that you have smelled. Maybe you sampled them and maybe you smelled them and you love them. That way you can avoid disappointment and clutter. Just my 2 cents. Yeah.
I can't argue with the logic. He's not wrong, Granted, this isn't gut-bustingly funny. This is more try to make you think, like, stop buying so many cheap fragrances. Stop blind buying cheap fragrances. Which, again, he's not wrong. Like, one of my mottos is I blind buy so you don't have to. That's kind of the fun for me, but I definitely don't encourage you guys doing that. It's not a wise practice when it comes to this hobby. It's definitely not. He is right. Do as much sampling as you can and buy some nice stuff. Yeah, it's great to have a few cheaper fragrances for different things, especially when you find something that you really enjoy and you didn't have to spend much. But there's definitely a lot of great options in that mid-range to almost, the higher end of the price bracket, whereas, above $50 on to, say, like $120. In that range, you can find a lot of good stuff from discounters for sure. And there's most of the time, there's samples for pretty much just about everything in that range. So let's continue.
You're probably right. Well, good talk. Don't worry about the money. I'm going to let it slide this time. I got to go.
Friend.
I'll talk to you later. Yeah, okay. Man, what's What's going on? Why can't I remember?
Oh, he's dreaming.
What's
I just
happening
caught
to
him.
me?
He's dreaming again.
Phase 2 complete. Just one left.
Okay, so he's up to something here. Phase 2 complete. The end is near. Okay, so he's got something planned. This one had a few little comedic moments, but it definitely wasn't like gut-bustingly corny funny. And there was a lot of corny stuff in the beginning, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't some of the funny stuff that was in the first few episodes for sure. But I would assume based on, I mean, because I don't pick his brain about what he's thinking for these episodes, because I like to be blind going into this, because I like to do this. I like to watch it with you guys for the first time. And you can get my genuine reactions on if I think he's being funny or just overly corny. And for the most part, he was being overly corny. I mean, there's a couple funny points, though. The corniest stuff is the way Custon, as he's been dubbed, says Brody bro and what was the other one? Bro sapien? That's, wow, that is super corny. But he does that on purpose. Custon is supposed to be over the top corny. And yeah, definitely that. So nothing hysterically funny here by any means. But he's definitely got some good points. There are some good talking points to think about. Don't just blind buy a bunch of cheap fragrances. If you buy, let's say, 10 cheap fragrances and you spent $30 a piece, that's $300. You could have got 2 really good fragrances, you know, or one really that fragrance you say you could never get, but turns out if you just wouldn't have bought those 10 cheap fragrances, you could have bought that $300 fragrance you kind of wish you could have because you may have sampled it already and you're like, I just can't fathom spending $300 on one bottle. It turns out you probably get more use out of it. So he's right. I'm not going to sit here and argue his points because he's right, even though it's contradictory to the way a lot of people want to roll with it. And I mean, my content sometimes is guilty of encouraging it without trying to encourage it. So I can admit that. Definitely don't just buy a bunch of cheap fragrances just to do it. There is some good stuff out there, like these top 10 cheap fragrance lists. It's not intended for you to go out and buy all 10. It's if you happen to hear something you like about one, see how you can manage to get your nose on it without having to blind buy it. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Blind buy is going to be the only option, especially with these cheaper fragrances, to get it, you know, at a great price. But always try to sample first, and you can avoid stuff like this. So he is right, but the cheap fragrances he featured are some I really enjoy. I recently talked about Mr. Burberry EDP, and I absolutely love Azzaro Porum Intense and Sean John 3 AM. So make sure you go check out Justin's full video. Leave him a like, subscribe, show support for the channel if you haven't yet. I'll make sure to link the original video down below. And like, comment, subscribe before you leave this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.